Hello, everyone, and welcome to the AFC South Fan Battle Podcast. It's week 13.
AT for president, people. You don't like it, you know what you can do with it.
And from the Texans, we got Chris Royal.
Tanking for Aiden Hutchinson. Thank you. Hutchinson from Michigan.
Okay.
And for the Titans, who are actually on a bye this week, we got Agent Ha.
That's right. Injury-free this week. Injury-free.
That you know of.
More like on a bi-curious.
That's right.
And last but not least, the man that needs no introductions, representing the Jaguars.
I mean, that doesn't mean you don't have to give me an introduction.
Yeah, I wanted you to roll with it yourself.
Oh, we roll right into it. Okay, I see. Yeah, I'm here to talk about football today, guys, in a very not vulgar way.
Awesome. So getting started with it, guys, what news and notes do we have from around the league in week 13?
The Lions won today.
That was a good game, actually.
Yes.
It was a pretty good game.
Yeah.
Minshew Mania is real in Philadelphia, and I called it.
I love it.
Do you miss him?
Yes.
Yes.
I
Yes,
missed him.
actually, I
I'm
do.
glad to see him back.
I actually do. I mean, I'm probably like the only Jaguar. Well, I'm not half the people in the group miss him, but
He
Yeah.
80% of his passes.
Yeah,
I
he did
know.
well
It's
the
almost,
first half.
like he has like a real professional NFL stat line or something. It's crazy.
Let's
Yeah.
see how he does.
There are
after
a
two
lot of-
games.
A lot of
We
Jags.
will see how he does after 2 games because, like, you know, they have a bye week next week. Hurts will probably be back.
Yeah, the coach said Hurts was going to start as soon as he was
And then
gonna go,
he'll
so.
come in and throw an interception, and then, you know, it's Philadelphia, so they'll you know, smell blood in the water, and
Start chucking the snowballs.
well, I mean, yeah, absolutely. And then, you know, it'll be the same thing that happened in Jacksonville, where half the stadium wants to see Minshew come in, and the other half wants to stick with Hurts. And
Yeah.
it is what it is. You traded for him for a reason, and we
Mhm.
traded him for a reason, and it's that. So that doesn't happen here.
Absolutely.
I think Big Ben is retiring at the end of the year, right?
Yeah, he did. He announced it.
Good.
Funny, because I thought he retired like week 3.
Yeah, you
Oh.
Exactly.
wouldn't
Got
be able
him.
to see it, but
Exactly.
News just came out. Logan Thomas, the tight end for the Washington football team, has tore his ACL, so he's done for the year. Outside of that, I think probably one of the best games of the day was probably the Chargers and the Bengals, with the Chargers coming out and winning. So
Chargers
we don't have-
did everything they could to lose that game.
yeah, they did. They really
They
did.
tried really hard to keep it close. Probably,
Yeah,
you know, because of sports betting, but whatever.
Yeah, but the Bengals didn't help their case either. Nobody wanted to hang on to the ball. There were so many turnovers.
It's true.
yeah.
Also, Marlon Humphrey, they said that he's probably getting season-ending surgery on his shoulder.
Didn't Logan Thomas just get reactivated from the injured reserve?
Yep.
Yep. This week or last week.
Washington can't. Washington just they're like where tight ends go to die.
He gets hurt every year, though.
I'm pretty sure all their players. I was pretty sure everyone that's played with Washington's been hurt this week because Chase Young, or at some form or fashion this season, because Chase Young's done, Fitzpatrick done. They're just in the trenches taking grenades right now with injuries.
What's that one guy's name? You know, the guy.
What's his
The
name?
tight end, the tight
Ravens,
end for Washington that for like the last couple of years that was like supposed to be super great, but kept on getting hurt. Yeah.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, that guy.
Knowledgeable commentators we have here today. Don't
Yeah.
worry, I'm looking it
That
up.
guy.
Well, I mean, nobody keeps up with the Washington football team.
Oh yeah, you know.
Jordan Reed.
Yeah,
Jordan Reed, there you go.
Yeah.
That's what I thought you were talking about at first.
Whatever happened to
retired.
him?
Retired.
He
Did
retired.
he change his name to Logan Thomas? So
He
Nah.
let's
changed
take
his
some of the heat
name to
off?
Logan Thomas. Good deal. Exactly.
Absolutely.
Marlon
All right, guys,
Humphrey. Marlon Humphrey's probably done for the year too. Looks like.
Yep.
Crazy.
Oh, I don't follow Baltimore football, so I don't know who that is.
So, week 13, let's go ahead and dive right in. And I want to start with the Colts and Texans game. So, Chris Jackson, lead us off.
I mean, what can I say? I said, you know what? I'm not gonna take them lightly. This could be a trap game. And yeah, I was as wrong as I've ever been. I mean, the statement of the game was getting about what probably like 5 seconds into the game, and then the Texans throw an interception. And I mean, after that, it's just like it didn't get any better. I mean, they gave the ball to Jonathan Taylor. Carson Wentz just threw. Kenny Moore single-handedly got an interception and forced a fumble in the same game. I mean, it was the Texans just got dominated. And I mean, at this point, it's just like, I don't want to take any team lightly because you're in the NFL, but at this point, it's just like after a while, it's just like I don't even think they have the will to even keep going with this. I'm pretty sure they would all just walk off the field right now if they weren't getting paid to do this. Like it was that bad of a game for them. But I mean, it was a great game for us. It's what we know that we can do offensively. Once again, I think we're scoring the way that we need to. It's just stop making dumbass mistakes, and we might actually be able to beat a bunch of teams that are worth a damn.
It looks like it lived up to the hype that Harish was talking about, where Taylor had 150 yards and 2 touchdowns apart from the fumble, and then next week when it matters, they'll probably give him the ball like 10 times and
that's
throw 3 interceptions, and
You guys are playing next week.
We're playing. We're on the bye next week. We're on the bye next week, and then the following week we're playing New England. Then we go to Arizona.
No one cares. 0 people care.
But this is like the problem that I have with this team is that they're capable of so much when it comes to offense and defense, and you give the ball to Jonathan Taylor 32 times again. I mean, he gave it to him in the Bills game 32 times, but then in a game where for a fact that you can actually go one drive and get 58 yards rushing, you decide that you're going to throw the ball about 90% of the game. It's like it's stupid inconsistency.
Too many people took Taylor on FanDuel. That's what happened.
He earned those yards today, though.
Oh yeah, no, he definitely did. The Texans game plan strictly for Taylor. They said let Carson Wentz throw. We're game planning for the run, regardless. Like that's just what it was.
It's a good strategy against you guys.
Yeah, it seems like it worked really well.
Yeah,
all right, here's the game plan. Good. We're going to totally plan for the running back, and then we're going to let him run it all over us.
That's
How about
right.
that?
Don't forget to fail miserably at it.
Yeah, our game plan is to let Taylor beat us.
We stuck to the game plan.
Yeah, right. yeah, you did.
Stay the course.
Joke's on you, Chris Jackson.
Thank you. I would like to personally be responsible for this, but I mean. We're a team that has a running identity. We can really just play balance, but I'm glad that Frank Reich didn't go to trying to make Carson Wentz play hero ball, and basically just try to legitimize his comeback player of the year award chances. Like it's just like if you're gonna run, just run the damn ball. Like that's all you need to do. But once again, we're dealing with Frank Reich here, and I mean I feel like the game plan all goes according to a coin toss. It's just like if it lands on heads, we're just going to audible out of everything that's working.
I'll tell you one thing. It took y'all a good minute to get in that end zone, though. It took you about to the end of the second quarter to really start pulling away from a sorry team.
Well, they scored early, and I mean I'm going to say the way that I always say, and I don't give a damn what anybody says, specifically Todd on this, but I say division games are a little bit rougher. I don't care how bad a team is, i.e. Vikings losing to the Lions.
The Vikings have been on a downward spiral for the last 3 or 4 games. Anybody could have seen that coming. Detroit pulled off a tie against Pittsburgh because they're on the come up and the Vikings are on the way down. That's just the way. I mean, the Vikings generally tend to fade this time of the year, and then they usually get their shit together toward the end. But that division's solid with the Packers. I just have to say right now, Mr. Jackson, I have never heard anyone bitch and cry about a 31-0 shutout like I just did. And I think that you need to pull up your big boy pants and celebrate the fact that you won a football game by a lot and that your running back ran the football.
I'll be happy that this happens when it's consistent.
You know what I'd be happy for? I would be happy to win by 1. The Texans probably would have been happy to kick a fucking field goal today. So I think that you need to take a step back, reevaluate what you want out of a football game, and just be happy, man. Just be happy. I'm sitting here having to be happy for you, living vicariously through your 31-0 win.
Okay. Well, when you say it like that, I am absolutely elated with the fact that we won, especially going into the bye week. Now people have the chance to get healthier because there's a couple guys who are still banged up. I think Darius Leonard still nursing an ankle injury. So, I mean, we got 2 weeks, and then we're going to play the Patriots and hope to God for something great there. Maybe.
Oh, I mean, you're going to lose, but I'm saying that's why you should really relish your win now, and then for the next week when it's impossible for you to lose, because then you're going to begin losing. I'm trying to be a buddy here and like get you.
I'm trying to coach you up here.
I'm trying to come on, man, like be happy now because it's all downhill from here.
I think it's possible to beat New England. I mean, I believe that we can beat great value Ben Roethlisberger and Mac Jones. So I mean, as far as I'm concerned,
I'm going to say I think you guys do beat New England.
I think that's absolutely possible.
Yeah, but Ha's wrong about everything, so I wouldn't listen to him.
You're going to do it.
That is an uphill battle, man. That's a big
I'd be happy to be wrong. I'd be happy to be wrong.
John just wants anybody to beat New England. He's happy when anybody beats New England. He'd be happy if COVID beat New England this week. He doesn't give a shit.
All right, well,
let's do it.
That's fair because I would too. I'm completely.
I mean, well, I think we're all on that train. We're all in the AFC South. We all hate them for various reasons.
Yeah.
Except for maybe the Texans, they're too busy looking around, going what do we do?
We got half of the Patriots over here in Houston anyway. So yeah, we can't hate them. We are the Patriots South, so yeah, we kind of rough.
Well, we heard one half, or at least the positive half of this game.
It didn't sound like it.
I know, right?
Now let's go to the negative part.
Hey, Chris Royal, let's hit the negative side of the game.
All right, the negative side, I'll start with a positive. The positive is there was nobody there to see the damn game. Absolutely nobody. I think there was spaced out seats in that stadium. Looked like the COVID was still going on. They had it spaced out, one person to every 2 rows or whatever. So nobody witnessed the ass kicking that we got. Like you say, we started off when everybody turned on their TV, the first play of the game was an interception. And it was embarrassing from that point on.
Like 2 turnovers back to back, right?
Back to back. I mean, just embarrassing. And
I know what that's like.
Yeah, once we seen that, we was like, man, what are we, the damn Jags or what? And all of a sudden,
whoa.
Yeah, I had to throw that little shot. I hope y'all beat us in a couple weeks, but y'all are still the Jags. Y'all are still the Jags.
Carry on with your
with the negativity.
Yeah. Synopsis of the game.
Negativity. We didn't say where it was going to be geared towards.
It was pretty bad. I mean, Tyrod Taylor came out like he did not want to be there. He had he was not in rhythm. It looked like he was the backup to the backup quarterback. He had no arm strength in any of his passes. The run game was horrible. If you ask most of the Texans fans, they would tell you that they are pissed off right now at a guy named Tim Kelly, which is our offensive coordinator. He could not call a play worth a damn. His play calling rhythm is like, I don't know, it's like Samantha dancing to, some reggae music. It's really offbeat and off rhythm.
I always say that I won't chime in, but number one, screw you. Number two, I wanted to fact check your comment earlier about the Jags games, and there was nobody there because they don't want to be there. They actually don't have any COVID restrictions, but carry on.
I was talking about the Texans. Nobody was.
Yes, I know, and they don't have any COVID restrictions. Just nobody wants to go see that trash.
Right. You're absolutely correct. That's what I was trying to say.
Shots fired.
But back to the two-step. We really, really played horrible. The bright spot of the game for us was our defense at the first half. We kind of held Colts out of the end zone for pretty much the first half. If you take away the first pick of the game, give them the ball at, I think it was like the 30-yard line, they walked in and got a quick touchdown. I don't think they scored again till like 2 minutes before the end of the half, which really solidified the loss at that point. The Texans just we're a pickup team, man. We're a pickup team. We just picked up some guys off the bench, put them together. Tyrod Taylor was supposed to be the bright spot, and he turned out to be the worst spot. Like I said,
not worth it, David Mills.
So yeah, just to recap, your defense was really good apart from the touchdowns.
Well, they were,
just want to make sure that's what we're being clear about, is that your defense really held up until they let the other team score a bunch, right?
Unlike Jags fans, if you actually watch the game.
Oh wow, I watched the game. Trust me, I suffered through.
The Texans actually played pretty good defense against the Colts. They kept them out until the end of the game when you couldn't hold them off no more. Our offense was doing like 3-and-outs every series, throwing the interceptions, fumbling the ball. I mean, it was just a complete disaster on offense. We actually had a guy in the stands that stood up in front of Cal McNair's booth with a sign that says, "Fire Tommy Boy, Cal McNair, why don't you sell the team?" He screamed it out, yelled it, had a big banner, he posted it up, and the police ushered him out of the stadium. But right now in Houston, he's like one of the superheroes right now that's going on right now with him, just because somebody stood up and told him to sell the team, man. You don't have a clue. They've got what they've called, I'll let y'all in on a little bit of thing that happened. Zach Cunningham didn't play this week because he missed a COVID test. He was late to take a COVID test. He took the COVID test, but they decided to bench him, which was a healthy scratch. And this has been like the fourth time that they've had a healthy scratch for the Texans. And so people are getting upset with the coaches because they're calling it a culture change. They're trying to change the culture in Houston. A lot of Texas fans will understand what I'm talking about. And that culture change is coming from Jack Easterby. It's being passed down to Caserio. And that is pushing these players further and further and further away from playing to their fullest. And I think that's what we've seen today was a lot of people that just didn't want to be there. They didn't care, and they're playing like they don't care anymore. And so we got our butts kicked. I got to give it up to the Colts. They took care of their business. They stuck to the game plan, and that was run the ball, and they did that. They're going to need some more pass. They're going to need some more weapons before the playoff starts. They're going to have to step up their game. Pittman's not going to be able to handle the full load with just Pittman and Taylor, I think, going into the playoffs. But as far as the Texans go, man, we're straight. I think we take L's the rest of this season, and we take them so we can go into the draft. It's over with. It's totally over with. And yeah, man, we totally suck. We totally suck.
Well, we can firmly say that was the negative take, I think, out of the two takes we had. So
yeah.
Well, moving on to the Jaguars. Todd, hit us. What we got, man? How was the game? What was your take?
Besides the touchdowns.
Besides the fumbles and the touchdowns.
Besides the final score, they were really in it.
So here's the problem. The Jaguars defense is not that bad. They're awful. They're terrible. They're the bottom quintile, whatever. But they can hold it together for a minute. Now, I saw a stat in the third quarter where they had just 40 minutes was time of possession, right? No defense is that good, right? It's the same thing that Chris is saying. So if you go 3 and out after your defense is on the field for a 5-minute drive, you put them back out there. They're on the field for another 8-minute drive. You can hold them to field goals, right? But eventually you're going to break. And this whole bend but don't break thing, which we've been doing in Jacksonville for like, I don't know, since 1993, is bullshit. And I wish they quit doing it. But also, we just don't have the talent. We don't have the talent. Apart from Allen, who is probably the only real defensive star that we have. Rudy Ford, I really am liking the way he plays. I really like Wilson. I really like a couple other guys. Smoot's really coming along. But
What's
pretty
your
much
take on Tyson Campbell?
Yeah, okay, cool. Like, he's playing well for a rookie. He's had a couple of good games. Like, I'm not gonna put the guy in Canton because he had a couple of good games. He's had a couple of good games, right? I don't think the Jaguars have the staff on defense to do what we've been doing for the past 5 or 6 years, which has been leaning on the defense, right?
Right.
Offensively, so there's a reason why Minshew did so well in Philadelphia today. And it is because and I guarantee you there's no one here who can name a starter on Philadelphia's offense other than Dallas Goedert, right?
Rieger.
Was that?
Rieger. Miles Sanders.
Sure. Yeah.
Boston Scott.
Yeah, household names, right? Household names known for their offensive acumen, correct, right? Okay, my point being is that you can take a big bowl of shit off any bench and you can scheme them to be better than they are, right? You can coach them to be better than they are. You can come in with a proper game plan against who you're going to play, and you can go out there and accidentally score points, right? The Jaguars can't do that. And they don't lack a ton of talent on offense. They have some speed. They have some tricky guys. The campaign to slowly erode James Robinson's confidence and completely destroy him as an NFL player continues. And I don't want to hear shit about a fumble. What I want to hear about is, why the fuck are you running RPOs against the Rams front? Why would you run an RPO against a front that's in your backfield on the snap? What are you doing? Now they want to switch over to this because they want to play to, the Duval Dandies' strengths, right? Which I don't know that that's a strength. Okay, it might have been a strength at Clemson against Boston College. It might have been a strength. It might have been a strength against other ACC teams that are all awful. It might have been a strength. When he had ETN, who could make up for some of that. But RPOs in the NFL are not the norm, and a lot of teams try and tinker with it. But you have to have almost a perfect storm of game plan for that to work.
And a generational talent.
Well, I mean, tune into last week's fucking shit and see how many times I said generational talent. Okay, I am the sickest person on the face of earth about the term generational talent, because generational talents have good footwork. Okay. Generational talents are accurate. Okay. And generational talents move in the pocket.
They have long hair too.
Generational talents only come once a generation.
Okay.
And that generational talent's currently playing in Tampa. So I don't want to fucking hear about generational talents. Like,
I thought it was the hair.
I'm the last person to bring that bullshit to, because I do not fucking subscribe to that shit.
I
have not. I will not. You can go back and listen to every single podcast I've been on. You will not hear me utter that term. Anything is short of ironically.
Well, here's my question to you, Todd, is that you're mentioning RPOs, right?
Sure.
And we all know that Urban's scheme, whether he was at Florida, Ohio State, Utah, Bowling Green, has always been the RPO.
Right.
But you see at times, and I'll call out one play, was the 3rd and 1 play where they ran Carlos Hyde up the middle, right? Which was a pro style play, right?
Sure.
At any point in time, or in an Urban Meyer style offense, he is not going 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1 with a quarterback under center and a running back behind him. It's always out of the shotgun formation. So my question to you is, Trevor Lawrence.
It's always in the literal worst thing you can be in. And he literally said his quarterback doesn't know how to run a sneak. So yes, your question.
My question is that, do you believe that Trevor Lawrence, his ability right now is hampered by the inability of the coaching staff to figure out if they're running a pro style offense or if they're going to run a spread type RPO type college offense that Urban Meyer was. Do you think that's
long story
hindering
short,
Trevor?
are the coaches hurting the quarterback?
Yes.
Right. Yes. I said it last week.
Okay. Sorry.
I don't think that Trevor Lawrence is a bad player. I don't think that he's going to be a bad player. I think that he is going to be the Jaguars quarterback for a considerable time, and I think that he will settle into being. I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to say he will eventually look like Tannehill when Derrick Henry's in the game. That's the type of quarterback. That's the type of quarterback that he's going to be. He's going to hand the ball off a bunch. He's going to play on play action, and he's going to throw to guys that are wide open. That is what he's going to do. Either that, or when the pocket breaks down, he might scramble out for 5 or 10 yards. He might score some rushing touchdowns. He is not Peyton Manning. I'm sick of the comparison. He's not Russell Wilson. I'm sorry. The guy doesn't have the killer. The guy doesn't have. When you look at Matt Stafford in that game, every time he looks at a receiver before he throws to him, his eyes are black. He has there's the killer in there. There's the killer, I'm going to make this happen in there, and I don't see that. I don't see that behind Lawrence's eyes. And yes, I think he's getting dicked around by coaches that don't know what they're doing at this level. Yeah, 100%. There's no way you can watch that game and see the offense be called and think that they know what they're doing. It's impossible.
Do you guys think that if he went to New England and Mac Jones went to Jacksonville, do you think Lawrence would be doing what Mac is doing in New England?
No, because they're two completely different quarterbacks.
You don't think Belichick and McDaniels could coach him up to be a lot better than what he's doing?
Well, I mean, coach him up. What does coach him up mean? Change his game, change his style. Mac Jones is pro play. I'm answering your question. Mac Jones has been dropped into a situation in which he thrives. Right now, Trevor Lawrence is a quarterback that you need to build a team around. Mac Jones is a quarterback that you insert. Those are two different things. Mac Jones in Jacksonville does not play any better than Trevor Lawrence because Jacksonville was Jacksonville.
Why is Lawrence a guy that you build a team around when he's just going to be a Tannehill who depends on a running back?
Exactly.
Well, I mean, is that team not built around Tannehill's strengths?
It's built around Henry.
Derrick
Henry.
Right,
run Derrick Henry.
Yeah, but you just said you build a team around Trevor Lawrence.
I mean, I'm trying to talk. Get Tannehill in situations where he can play action and boot. He play action, he boots, he throws it, or he runs it. Right? I'm not saying that they built that around him. I'm saying that, and you're confusing metaphors here. Mac Jones in New England is not doing anything that any quarterback that gets inserted in New England would do. Otherwise, Cam Newton would have been doing what Cam Newton was doing early in Carolina and New England. If they were going to coach up somebody who was a run first, pass second, non-pocket kind of guy. Mac Jones takes a 4-step drop and throws it or throws it away. That's it.
You don't think Lawrence could have done that?
If he could do that, he'd be doing it in Jacksonville.
Yeah, I think
Jacksonville also doesn't have wide receivers that get open. They have guys that hit their spot and bounce like they're in Madden. They don't go get open.
But it's like what Justin was saying. I didn't mean to interrupt you, brother. It's kind of like what Justin was saying. Is he getting the pro style offense called for him, or is he still?
No, I said he wasn't. He's not getting any kind of offense called for him. He's getting 5 different offenses called at once.
Okay,
yeah.
So
there's no consistency to the offense. There isn't. You're either in spread, or you've got 2 tight ends, or you're running an RPO out of the shotgun, which does not play to James Robinson's strengths.
Right.
James Robinson needs to be 3 yards back and turn around, and get a handoff. And go left or go right or try to bounce it outside. You know what else we don't do in Jacksonville that really aids rookie quarterbacks with a bad offensive line? Is screen passes. And we don't do it either. We throw wide receiver screens. We throw wide receiver screens like we're fucking Georgia Tech. And we don't go, hey, every play there's 5 guys in the backfield the second the quarterback gets the snap. So what should we do? I don't know. Let's get Carlos Hyde to run it up the gut like it's 10 years ago at Ohio State, which it is not. And then, our star running back who's an absolute fucking gem and the only bright spot of our season last year, fumbled the ball. You know what we should do? Sit him on the bench for fucking 10 plays. That'll teach him. That'll teach him to hold on to the ball better when we call a bullshit RPO on first down. And Aaron Donald is literally like inside of the back of his jersey before he even gets the ball. Like, yeah, I mean, like, whether or not Trevor Lawrence is having a good offensive call for him, it doesn't change my mind that he's not who everybody thinks he is. He'll be a good NFL quarterback as long as people call his fucking sound offense. You can't put anybody back there in Jacksonville and expect them to succeed with the plays they're calling. You just can't.
Yeah, I definitely
They're
agree
not
with
good.
Todd in the sense
They're
that
awful.
Mac Jones.
I haven't seen a crossing pattern. I haven't seen a drag route. I haven't seen like normal things that beat a zone. I haven't seen. What I see is
the same thing in Houston. It's the same thing.
It's just like, you know what? Hey man, it's first down. Let's stretch the field. Let's throw it to Chenault.
Right. It's the same.
Let's
with the
throw the wide
jailbreak
receiver
screen
to Treadwell, and he'll,
right.
let's
That
throw a
never
flea
works.
flicker on fucking when we're up 19 to fucking whatever, and let's just shit the game. Let's just shit the bed right on now, and then like let's trade Minshew so that no matter how bad we are and how bad Lawrence looks, we'll never have to worry about bringing anybody in, because if we put Beathard in, people are just going to look at him and laugh. His last name's Beat Hard.
Is your coach the one and done coach, or is he going to be back next year?
No, he's too expensive to be one and done.
Yeah.
He'll have a year to make excuses. That's why I'm surprised he hasn't fired anybody yet. If I'm him, I've already fired somebody. I fired somebody
just to make a scapegoat.
Somebody.
Right.
But he doesn't feel like he has to. Just like he doesn't feel like he has to account for, being a distraction to a team that's hyped, that everybody's everybody's concerned with, and the generational talent.
Well, that's kind of what you have to deal, or that's what you are in college. When you're a college head coach, you don't really have to answer to anybody. You just do what you want.
Right. You don't have to answer anybody because you're at the top of a pyramid of coaches that do your job for you. And you're the one that goes and talks to the media. You're the one that holds the trophy up. And I've been saying that since the beginning. I've never liked the Urban Meyer hire. I was never a fan of it. And honestly, you can go back and watch the tape. I said it plenty of times about Lawrence. Like, if we're there, we take him, whatever. Yeah, I've been saying for the last 5 years, if any picks in the first round ought to be traded for multiples in the second and third. Draft 150 guys and have them run Oklahoma drills until half of them don't have concussions, and that's the team. I don't believe in fixing our problems in the first round of the draft. I just don't believe in that. We don't have the talent evaluation for that.
Well, in other words,
just accrue as many draft picks as you can, and just
absolutely draft the whole goddamn class, and then start cutting people. Yeah. I mean, Alan Lazard looks pretty good in Green Bay. We cut him. These guys don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing. Everybody comes to play for Jacksonville. We're like, man, that guy's garbage. And then we cut him, and then he goes and does well somewhere else.
Colin Johnson went to New York.
Sure.
Right.
I think the biggest one that pisses me off that left was Quincy Williams, the linebacker that we drafted 2 years ago. Sure. He's a starting linebacker on the Jets. Now, don't get me wrong, there's not much to say about the Jets, but he's making plays.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, and we got Wingard.
So that's my question to you, Todd. Wingard is awful. I think we can all agree on that.
Sure. I'd tell him to his face if he was right here.
Right.
I wish a little bubble would pop up with his face so I could be like, you suck.
Right. So Andre Cisco is definitely one of those players that I like going into the draft. I think he can play both positions. I think he can play man. I think he can play high deep safety. The Jaguars PR team is putting him on all the promotional material, but for whatever reason, right, they just don't want him out there. I think he played 2 plays last week. Going into this week, he just hasn't played it. He
played 1 play last week and got hurt. Okay. He got hurt last week.
But why do you think they just don't like him?
Because they're bad at football. They're bad at coaching, and they don't want. So you put Wingard in for 3 games, and then you realize, oh shit, we shouldn't have done that. We should have really done a lot more in the offseason to make our defense better. And they don't want to admit that they made that mistake, and they don't want to admit the guys that they put out there to start aren't the best guys they have. because of their pride and their ego, and they are 100% willing to lose games to prove a point and to put square pegs into round holes. That's all I can think at this point. Because yes, I've been calling for Cisco to be in the game since week 2.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why it took him so long to put Ford in. I don't understand why it took him so long. Jenkins needs to get cut, and we need to get somebody else. I made a list the other day on. Chason can be Cheeks. Don't care. He's awful. He looks like a superhero, and he's 6 foot fucking forever. Mm-hmm. But the guy doesn't know what he's doing in coverage. The guy doesn't finish tackles. The guy doesn't get pressure. He's a waste. And and nobody wants to admit it. Most teams go you're not very good. Get out of here. Sure. For whatever the reason, the Jaguars are no, we really feel like this guy this year. Taven Bryan. The guy was cruising to be cut, and then he has a game where he gets a sack, and everybody's whoa, it's fucking Mike Singletary. No, he's not. He had a sack. Tyson Campbell, absolute dog shit for 7 games. Has a couple good games, and you're going well, Tyson Campbell's a bright spot, though. No, he's a bright spot because there's nothing else to fucking cheer for.
That's fair.
He would be on the practice squad of any other NFL defense. I'm sorry. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. 100% on any given Sunday. Prove me wrong. But you can't, and you don't, and you lose, and we're bad.
That's fair.
Anyway, Titans bye week.
Going over to Agent Ha, let's talk about the Titans real quick. They're in a bye week this week. Obviously, no Derrick Henry for the foreseeable future, maybe until after the new year. What news and notes do you got for the Titans, or what do you want to see next week going into week 14? Agent Ha, hit us.
Would love to see people healthy. That's really the long and short of it.
Actually, John, I have something I want to interject. I'm just
So,
kidding.
Sam, I said, stop it, Sam. No, it's just hopefully this time that all of our players who have been on IR have actually healed up. Maybe Julio Jones can make an appearance for the season. I don't think so, but yeah, just hoping to get 3 wins so that I can maybe make the playoffs. That's it. It's not good in Tennessee right now. It sucks, but it could be worse.
Yes, Sterling commentary.
I don't want to. It's the bye week. What do you want from me? And we didn't even do anything. We signed nobody. The only thing that happened was Kevin Byard got COVID. That's it.
You get to play the Jags.
I see this as, to quote Professor Hulk, I see this as an absolute win.
Well, that's true. We actually did win. So if Buffalo wins tomorrow, we go back to being the 1 seed. So the only way we can advance is through a bye week. So I'll take that. Hooray.
Do you guys beat the Jags?
We beat them earlier than we get them after our bye.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You're going down, bro.
I wouldn't be surprised because you talk about
35-34.
I think because you said it earlier, Todd. You said your defense isn't terrible. They're not. They're honestly not. You're not going to have a hard time against our offense. So our defense is going to be doing what Houston defense did against the Colts. We're going to start strong and keep us maybe in it, but our offense is going to get nothing.
You love to see it.
Yeah, I don't, but I think you're going to.
When's Henry's reconstructive surgery on his neck turd done?
Hey, stop that! All right.
No, I refuse.
I was gonna go somewhere. I better not. I won't go there.
Something to do with turds?
Never mind. Well, okay. When is it? Oh no, Derrick Henry. I don't think we get Derrick Henry back. Everyone's saying they think he's gonna be back, playoff time. I don't think it's gonna happen. I just think it's too dangerous to do it. They might be pushed to a situation where they're desperate enough to put him in, and it's just going to mess him up even more. And I just think it's a bad idea. So,
do you think he would come back sooner if he started wearing a shirt?
Well, Texans fans wouldn't want him to wear a shirt. So, I know
the fans don't want him to wear a shirt, but I'm just saying, do you think he would recover faster if he was to start wearing shirts?
Well, if he take off all them damn chains that he was working out with, he might be able to come back.
That's just extra weights.
How about A.J. Brown? Is he on his way back?
Nope. No, he got placed on IR right before the Patriots game. The soonest he can come back is week 15.
Oh wow.
No, 16. No, week 16 against the Niners. So that's as soon as he can come back. And even still, I mean,
wow.
we're just beat up. We don't have anybody. Like, I like what I've seen out of the running backs that have taken the snaps in place of Henry. Hilliard and Foreman have really made the most of their touches. Like I said, last week against New England, both of them had over 100 yards. They had strong performances. Each of them had a fumble to go along with those 100 yards, which is stupid, but I like what I've been getting out of them. Unfortunately, I don't have wide receivers that can get open. And when they do get open, they drop it half the time. So I'm dealing with a 15% catch radius from these guys. I don't foresee a lot of great things for our offense for the foreseeable future, which is why I think it's going to be a rough road ahead, which was supposed to be the easiest part of our schedule. We beat all the tough teams, and now we're going to lose to all the crappy teams. So hooray for us. I'm sure Donnie Stigley is just thrilled with my commentary tonight.
But you have Ryan Tannehill, so I mean, he's
an elite top 10 quarterback.
Take away every single person on the offense and tell me how great your quarterback is going to be when you take away every single person on your offense.
He's going to be Tyrod Taylor.
It's horrible.
That's implying the Texans ever had anybody talented on their offense.
Well, there you go. But you still take them away.
You can't take away what's not there. That's all I'm saying.
Well, at the end of the equation, there's nobody there.
Sure. It's tough. Yeah. It's the forecast is bad. Okay. I'm just hoping that maybe Julio comes back and actually does something, because when he was here, he wasn't doing anything. He had one great game against Seattle, but then other than that, he hasn't done much.
I thought y'all was bragging. I thought your guys was bragging on all the depth that you guys had.
Yeah, week one, week off season looked great. I was like, I love this offense, right? But guess what? Then everybody got hurt. We did have great depth, and then they all got hurt, so that kind of sucks.
I'm gonna get hurt.
Well, hey, John Hawk.
You summed it up perfectly, Todd. I wish I could disagree with your assessment.
That's true.
I'm in tears over here. It sucks. I hate it.
I don't want to give you a hug if I could.
Well,
it wasn't outlawed in Utah.
Absolutely. So we got Todd's prediction of the score for next week, week 14. The Jaguars do play the Titans in Tennessee. What's your prediction of the score, John?
I don't make predictions.
I need.
I would like to retract 35-34.
Yeah, with your college offense.
I would like to say it's going to be 14-6.
Okay. That sounds.
Yeah, the Jags winning.
I would think. Okay, I don't know how. Prediction of the score. I don't know. What's the point of it?
It's going to be 4 field goals. I think safety. It's not going to be 2 touchdowns.
Here's the thing. I
give people something to look forward to.
Okay, it will be a very low scoring affair because it will be one of those things where both teams will be struggling to move the ball, and people will be getting field goals and touchdowns with mixed extra points. So yeah, like something like a 13-12 game.
It's going to be like 2 really, really, really drunk fat people trying to make out at the end of the night. And what's going to happen is that it's just going to be like awkward and bad and out of.
Hey, we're asking about the game, not your weekend plans, Todd.
I'm making an analogy, okay? This is called commentator 101, right? And they're trying so hard to score, but they just can't. They're just. It's not there. And then eventually one of them gets it in, and then
that's not it.
That's the game.
All right, so moving on. Chris Jackson.
Skip the game. That's my prediction. Skip it.
Chris Jackson.
I stopped it when you did. Jesus, that was.
It looks like the Colts are on a bye. Obviously, you want Darius Leonard to get better. Enjoy your bye. Chris Royal, you guys go into or the Seahawks come into town to play you guys. Give us a quick score prediction.
I give you, I would say 28-10 Seahawks. 28-10. Russell, I think Russell Wilson came back and beat, who did they play this yesterday? They played
the NFL doesn't play on Saturday, but
Adrian Peterson
earlier today.
Yeah, they beat the 49ers at the last second in the fourth quarter. So yeah, I think Russell Wilson's coming back with with a fury at the end of this. 28-10 Seahawks.
Yeah, Adrian Peterson got a touchdown today too.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah, it's great. They march all the way down the field and on the 2-yard line, give it to Adrian Peterson, and he gets all the credit for the drive.
I think they stopped the 49ers on 4th down too. Yeah, they stopped the 49ers on 4th down.
Seattle did everything they could to give that game away, and they just barely hung on to it.
Yeah. They'll carry the momentum.
All right, guys. Any last things to add before we wrap up here?
Oh, yeah. Don't we got a network that's out here?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So if anybody does have anything to add real quick, where can we find you guys? I'll start with you, Chris Royal.
You can find me on the block with my thing. No, I'm just
keep that thing on.
I don't even keep that thing on me, baby. All the way down here in Houston. I wanted to send a shout out to all the guys that came down to Houston for the game. I missed you guys. I think it was Matt. Yeah, Matt Briggs.
Josh Senior go down?
Josh Senior.
Yeah.
Did Harish come down?
No. Did not.
Well,
he did not.
Yes, he did.
Oh, he did. Excuse me.
Yes.
Yeah. I hope they enjoyed themselves, man. It was a pretty empty stadium, but I'm sure they had a lot of good fun with some of those guys.
4 people there.
Right.
Plenty of good seats left in NRG Stadium going into the second half.
That's right. I am on Twitter, but I don't even know my damn Twitter name. Let me see if I can find it.
It's who gives a shit? I'm a Texans fan.
That's right. It is at Chris Royal _. At Chris Royal _. I'm also on YouTube with C Royal TV. I'm going to try to add a little content on there, make a few things. There's really nothing to talk about with the Texans right now, so that's pretty much out of the water right now. But I thank you guys for having me on, and appreciate you guys. Thanks for not talking too bad about the Texans.
Texans suck balls.
No, we let you do that.
Except for you, man.
Yeah, me. Yeah.
Except for you.
Yeah.
All right, Todd, where can we find you, my man?
At Bold City Bandit on the tweets. And, forever soul searching.
Just Chris Jackson
wandering around like David Carradine from Kung Fu, trying to find out the meaning of it all and why the Jaguars are so bad.
Chris Jackson, where can we find you?
At CJ Colts fan on Twitter and on Facebook. I don't know because Zuckerberg gave me a community guideline violation for saying yes a little bit too excitedly. So, there's that.
Yes, all caps yes is a form of white supremacy, Chris. You should know that.
What are your white friends? What are you talking about?
I'm just saying.
Well, John Ha,
it's hate speech. That's all.
John Ha, you can find him here on the
find me on Parler
podcast. Parler, yep. Find him there as well.
Okay, maybe Grinder, but probably not
that
Parler.
Too. I'm on Grinder too. It's a secret.
That's what I'm saying.
The Lil Nas X reference from earlier in the season makes a lot more sense.
Lil Nas X.
Well, guys, we had some exciting news. We are officially launching the Fan Battle Sports Network. We are talking with some other podcasts to bring them on the network. We have launched the Twitter account where you can find us there as well. And we are looking to branch out and start a Jaguars podcast and other teams in the AFC South. We already have the Texans podcast and as well as the Colts podcast. From those respective people. Chris Jackson, what is the name of our Colts podcast again?
It's referred to as Colts Fan Battle, but the name is the You Don't Know Jack podcast.
Perfect.
And actually, you can find that one on Twitter at YDKJAC podcast. So,
Justin, we should totally rip on that, and we should be like, You Don't Know Jacks. That way, people will get confused when they go to look theirs up, and they'll accidentally look ours up, and we'll steal their views.
And ours will just be making fun of the Colts the whole time.
Right. It'll be like, man, listen today on Indianapolis Colts news, we suck. And then just end the video. That's gonna be great.
Let's do a parody account. That'd be great.
Yeah, that's great.
Well, with the new network, obviously you can find us in certain locations. The relevant app, relevant app is one location you can find us, as well as Discord, as well as the Facebook group, AFC South. Oh my God, let me talk.
AFC South Fan Battle Podcast.
And we're back.
And we're back on the AFC South Fan Battle Podcast, coming at you live, Justin Bearded Guns.
Yes, and finally, we have a Discord launch. You can also hop in there and chat it up, since Facebook is obviously banned half the people on this podcast because of things they've said. But lastly,
which Discord is it?
Discord.
Which Discord is it?
Discord.
You see that? Yeah, he got there, guys.
I knew where that was going.
Only took it. Chris got it right away.
I was hoping that Justin would catch on, but he didn't.
I didn't. I'll be frank. I didn't. And lastly, you can find us on
Justin.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
Lastly, you can find us on YouTube and Twitch. Hey guys, if you see our videos on YouTube, please subscribe, please like, please comment. It helps with the algorithm and gets it out to more people. But this is the AFC South Fan Battle Podcast signing off. Hope y'all have a good week, and we'll see you next time.